Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about this. But before I can really talk about this, I have to talk about that. Who remembers this? I know some of you guys have been around long enough to remember this thing. This is some old school YouTube stuff right here. I've had this a few years now. If you don't know, this is the BB Barfly Balisong style bottle opener. See right on the blade, let's call it, because it's not a blade. This is not a knife. It may look like a knife, acts like a knife. You can practice with it as if it's a Balisong trainer, but it's not a knife, it's just a bottle opener, which makes this super cool. And back in the day, I love these things because there were so many people from different countries and so many teenagers and stuff. They really wanted Balisongs, but they couldn't have it because their parents wouldn't let them have one, or they couldn't have one because it wasn't legal where they lived. But because this is not a knife, and because there's no inherent danger here other than maybe pinching your finger or dropping it and throwing it at someone, I mean, it still is a piece of metal. So you could hurt someone accidentally with it, but not like a knife. Totally different level of danger here. So this was immensely popular back in the day, and I didn't know they even still made these things, but they do. They still sell them on their site. They're 25 bucks. I believe shipping's free in the US and Canada, but I think it's like $20 flat shipping anywhere else in the world. So just something to note there. But the reason I broke this out, because I do have a collection of bottle openers, and that's where this is, because it is a bottle opener. If you want to see that, let me know down in the comments. But I collect pretty much everything, except for dolls and stamps. I do have a bottle opener collection. And I broke it out to make this video, because it's not so much on this as it is on this. So what is this? This is the BB Barfly Pro. This is the new version of this. So let's take a look at it. They have changed some things for the better. BB Barfly Pro. You can see first off the actual bottle opener part, or the blade, let's call it, is different, much slimmer. There's a little skeletonization right there to loosen up on the weight. They both do work just fine. And as far as opening bottles, if you do buy this as a bottle opener, it works fantastic for that purpose. But you can see the old version, we have single piece handles here. So it's one piece of milled aluminum, I believe. I don't think it's stainless, I'm pretty sure it's aluminum. Whereas this, we now have a sandwich style handle, okay? And you can see there's milled pieces on the inside as well. All right, neither one of these have any kind of latch or lock system, which is interesting because the original had a tang pin here and tang cups to give that, certain grip length, I guess you'd say, to open bottles and stuff like that, but it's not really needed since there's no no latch, no lock. Same with this, no tank pin. Went with this design instead. Okay, but does still have a gap like a normal Balisong would to create that tension for the lock. Even though the lock doesn't exist, it gives you a little bit of a wider grip so you can grab onto that nice without the handles kind of squishing together and clanging each other. But yeah, besides being a sandwich style, a huge difference is now we have hardware. So instead of having hollow pins like on this model, which inherently will loosen over time, and once they loosen to the point where it's not usable, it's just going to fall apart and break. Okay, so having hardware, you can actually dismantle this. You could take it apart if you wanted to, which is nice, and more importantly, you can adjust it and tighten it if it does get loose. So that's very cool. That's a huge upgrade to me. The actual design is just a little bit slimmer. All right, if you could tell there, as far as the height, they're about the same. The new one, if anything, is just a hair longer. Okay, but the handles feel slimmer in the hands. But here's one of the other big things. The huge thing is obviously the hardware being adjustable. That's a big deal to me for longevity. But the old one, if you remember this thing, and let me pull my camera back a little here so I could flip without smacking the table. But I want you to listen to this for a second. I'm going to do the same maneuver or same combination like 2 or 3 times in a row, and you'll hear kind of the pattern. It's loud. I don't know if you could tell, but that thing is clanking. As compared to the new one. So this one sounds much more like an average Balisong. There's nowhere near the clink and clank and just the percussion this thing has. It's ridiculous how loud this thing is. Let me just open and closing it. All right, so much more of a dull, kind of low noise in the clicking and how that thing is actually making noise, which is crazy. This thing, if you're in a house with other people that are trying to watch TV or read a book or, you know, read their text, whatever they're doing, they're gonna know you're flipping this thing. In this case, maybe not so much. It's not gonna be as bothersome anyway. So this was crazy loud, and that was always a hit to me. You know, when people talked about and asked about it, I said, yeah, it's really cool, it's awesome. You can use it like a trainer, but I'm telling you now, it's loud. It is very loud and it could get annoying to people. Whereas this one, not so much. So much quieter. Now we have the sandwich style handles, and most importantly, the hardware, which is a huge deal. There is a big price difference in these, okay? Again, the original still sells for $25. These are selling for $89 or $90, like $89.95 or something like that. So let's just say 90 bucks. So $90 is significantly more, but if you're a Balisong collector, it's gotta go in, right? It's gotta go in the collection. If you are into your old one and it broke, or maybe just like the idea of an upgraded version, that's certainly something, you know, worth looking at. As far as the actual color designs, this was just a demo model with just the red and black. You can get these in any colors. You can get your logo put on this. I mean, obviously the price may change depending on the design that you want. Obviously you have to contact them and ask, but you can have, you know, each handle separate. It doesn't have to match. In this case, obviously it's black and red. It's not both black or both red. As far as the actual construction on this, I mean, it's well done overall, but when you really look at it closely, you can see some machine marks, you know, like in the channeling. That channeling in the aluminum liner is to allow for that to rest in there without rubbing. So there's still a little bit of space. If they didn't do that cutout there, it would probably rub, you know, or there just wouldn't be as much play. You need a little bit of play with this thing swinging around like that. Besides that, you can see the actual wrap. I'm assuming, I mean, it could be a vinyl wrap, but it also could be painted, but you can see it doesn't line up perfectly with the handle. I'd like to see it, I mean, again, for the price range, I'd like to see that more spot on. It's a little bit off, but it's not gonna peel easily or anything like that. Like I said, even if it is vinyl, which I don't think it is. I wanna say that it's powder coated or something, but I don't know how they get images on, but it doesn't come off very easily. Even the old ones, I believe it's the same thing. Only this one goes all the way around inside the channels, as opposed to this where it stops short on the edges. But it's not, like I said, with even longevity and dropping this and stuff, it's not going to come off very easily at all. I mean, I'm really trying to pick at this to get it to lift or something, but it's not. It's got to be like, maybe it's a vinyl wrap that's baked on or something and, you know, somehow bonds to the metal. But yeah, I mean, this model here, I don't have my scale in front of me right now, but it's definitely lighter. Not by much. You know, I don't remember what this was offhand, but it's slightly lighter. Could have to do with just the different, obviously the, you know, bottle opener portion of it is a different design, so that may have to contribute to the lack of weight there. But it has overall a similar feel. It's still, I mean, compared to most Balisongs, it's still chunky. It's still a thick, you know, thick grip and feel to it. But it's nice. It is a huge upgrade over the original. Is the price worth it? Well, that's up to you. You know, you guys are the consumer and you want to shop smart. And obviously if it's, you know, if it's something you wouldn't normally buy, then don't, you know. But if it's something you're considering, I want to talk about it here on camera so you guys are aware of it. Just like pretty much any knife review I do, I'm not here to sell you guys stuff. I'm not here to tell you to buy this or don't buy that. I'm just giving my opinions on things. I'm letting you know what's out there. But you guys have to be good consumers. You have to understand, you know, what's within your means. A lot of times people are buying stuff they can't really afford, or they're stretching their budget or whatever. That's up to you. That's you guys. That's all you. I'm just here telling you what's out there. Not everything out there is good. Not everything out there is worth it. Not everything out there is something you have to have. But for the people who are interested, that's why I'm here. I'm showing what's available. So yeah, I mean, this one was sent to me to check out. I didn't buy this one. For $90, I probably wouldn't buy it. I'd definitely trade for it, because it's something I'd be really interested in, want my collection, the Balisong collection. But I want to say, in comparison to this one, like this one is still $25. I'd like to see this at like the $50 price range. I think it's definitely better. It's definitely worth more. Is it, you know, worth $90? I don't know. I don't know. It's subjective, I suppose. But the quality is, you know, pretty decent. It's not going to fall apart or anything. And the fact that they did go with the hardware, even if they just had the original and use screws instead of pins, I think that you could jack it up $20 just for that alone, just so you can make sure that if the thing ever gets loose on you, you can tighten it. that's a huge deal to a lot of people, especially in the Balisong community. Most people stay away from anything that's pinned because, you know, if you're going to flip the thing, if you're showing it off or collecting it, doesn't matter. But if you're actually going to put some time, you're going to put some hours into flipping this thing, it's going to get loose. Eventually it'll break. You know, whereas this one, not so much. You can at least adjust it, which is cool. So yeah, and this is the sheath that came with it. They do sell this separate, but it's nice that they offer the sheath. You know, it's kind of a, you know, just generic tactical sheath, but it does fit the old one as well. So regardless, whatever you have, it's a cool little option if you want to carry the thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to talk about the Barfly Pro. It is definitely a worthwhile upgrade if you're into the you know, the trainers as well as, you know, just the Balisong collection. You know what I mean? Pretty cool and legal, which is the coolest part of it, right? You can actually flip around in public and not be, you know, worried about getting in trouble or anything. So that's it. Let me know your comments down below, what you think of it. If you happen to have one, or if you have an old one, let me know what you got, you know, what kind of design, what colors, whatever. I want to see, I want to hear from some of the old school YouTubers that know about the BB Barflies. So that's all. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.